guys, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch and review for you. So today I am reviewing a new to me brand. This is a brand that I had never used previously and I've never reviewed them on my channel before, and that is Olive & June. So today I am going to be showing you guys their Into You collection, which is a new summer collection with 7 different cream shades that are really beautiful pastel kind of shades that I feel like are perfect for summer. So if you guys haven't heard of Olive & June nail polish before, they are 7 free, meaning they are free of 7 of the dangerous chemicals that are often found in nail polish. They are vegan and they are cruelty free. So I've seen a little bit of this brand before. I have a couple of their polishes that I had never tried before, and a bunch of you guys asked me to do a review of them, and when I got this collection in the mail, I absolutely couldn't resist. These colors are so gorgeous, so I'm really excited to show them to you, and I have a lot of thoughts on them. So without spoiling anything, let's just start with the swatches. So as always with my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any staining. Today I'm using the Orly Bonder base coat. So first up in this collection we have the shade Honest and True, and this is a very soft baby blue pastel cream shade. This is the type of polish that's so soft it almost looks white on the nails, but once you reach that full opacity you can see that beautiful soft blue color coming in. This polish was actually super thin and it was really sheer, so I ended up doing 3 coats for this, which I don't think is unusual for a shade that is this light and this soft, but just so you guys know, I did find that the majority of this collection was on the sheer side and also on the very thin side. But like I said, once I threw on that 3rd coat and reached that full opacity, that color showed through beautifully. It's a really nice soft palette cleanser type of color. I feel like this is especially perfect for like the springtime or even in the winter, and I think this would make a great background for nail art. Next up we have the shade Bold and Unshaken, and this one is a very cool toned purple pastel cream shade. It leans a little bit on the periwinkle side, and once again this one was a little bit on the thin and sheer side. Especially in that first coat you could really see a lot of the nail coming through, but this one actually ended up being fully opaque in 2 coats, which I was really impressed with because the rest of the collection, like I said, is a little bit on the thin / sheer side, but this one is such an absolutely beautiful color. I love this type of color for any time of year. I think it is so gorgeous, and I love that it's kind of in between blue and purple and it still has that like soft pastelness to it, so really stunning shade. Next up we have the shade Fierce and Loving, and this one is a soft lilac pastel cream. This one does lean a little bit on the dusty side for me, so I think this is actually a really beautiful springy shade. I know this is a summer collection, but since these are all pastels, I was also getting pretty good spring / early winter vibes, but again, these are the types of shades that you can really wear any time of year. This one was another one that ended up being a 3-coater for me. It was almost opaque in 2, but there was just a tiny bit of patchiness in some areas that I just had to cover up with a 3rd coat. But like I said, these polishes are all relatively thin, so as long as you don't mind the application process, I don't think that it's terrible or too thick to have 3 coats of these. But again, just another really beautiful shade. I love that cool undertone to it. It almost has a little bit of a purpley vibe, and I love that soft pastel color coming through, so another beautiful shade. Next up we have the shade Grateful and Kind, and this one is a pure pink cream shade. Again, just a touch dusty and just a touch of that sort of pastel look, but I feel like this one is one of the more saturated colors in this collection, and this one actually I did end up getting away with 2 coats. Honestly, looking at it now, I feel like I probably should have done a 3rd. It just feels like such a thin formula that you kind of want to throw on a 3rd coat just so it feels like a full manicure, if that makes sense. But again, another beautiful color, not a standout shade, but a nice classic pink to have in your collection. Next up we have the shade Wild and Free, and this is a soft peachy orange cream shade, and this one again was on the thin and sheer side, so it did end up taking 3 coats for full opacity. One thing I do want to note is these polishes all have this really nice wide flat brush that also has a rounded tip, so it makes application super easy. Despite the fact that these were 3-coaters, which I wasn't a huge fan of, I found the application process to be so smooth and easy because of that, and it was barely any cleanup for me. Sometimes I get a little bit sloppy, but this type of rounded free edge just makes it so much easier for me to apply. So this one, like I said, 3-coater. The color is really beautiful, but again, it's just a really thin polish, so it's just up to you what you feel about that type of formula. Next up we have the shade Sweet and Gracious. This is another standout shade for me. It's just this really vibrant golden orangey yellow cream shade, and this one just screams summer to me. I thought that this one was going to be a 2-coater because it felt a little bit more opaque than the other shades on the first coat, but again with that second coat I did find that it was still a tiny bit patchy in some areas, so I did need to throw on a third coat. This one also dried slightly darker than it applied on the nails, but either color I think is absolutely stunning. This is such a beautiful bright shade. It makes me so happy to see colors like this on my nails, so I'm really excited to have this color in my collection. And last but definitely not least, we have the shade Bright and Focused, and this one is a soft but very bright pastel yellow cream shade, and this was another one that ended up being a 3-coater, but that is actually not a surprise at all to me because I do find that yellow polishes in general do tend to have a 3-coat formula, and this one in particular was very easy to work with. The color was super stunning. Honestly, on that third coat I still felt like it was a tiny bit sheer, but I was able to just get away with 3 coats. If you have long nails, I think all of these polishes might actually be 4-coaters just because of how thin they are, but just something to keep in mind when you are looking at this collection. So those are all the polishes. Like I said, I really love the colors in this collection. I think it was put together beautifully. When I saw all of the bottles next to each other, I thought that this was like it. This was the ideal summer collection, and I think they're so beautiful. Now that I've said that, I do have to say I wasn't a huge fan of the formula. I felt like they were a little bit thin. I was surprised to find that all of these were 3-coaters, and they were just not as opaque as I was expecting them to be for being as expensive as they are. But then again, pastels are relatively difficult to do. Sometimes they come out really opaque but they're chalky, or sometimes like this, they just take too many coats to be opaque. So before I cast judgment on Olive and June as a whole, I do want to try some of their other shades and see how they perform. But yeah, as far as the pastels go, I just feel like they were a little bit too sheer for me to totally enjoy. I think the colors are really beautiful, so if you are already a fan of the brand and you find that this is standard for them to have 3-coat nail polishes, then you might like this. But if you haven't tried it before, I just feel like they might be a little bit too expensive to be worth it for 3 coats. So I don't know, kind of a struggle there. As you can see, I did a Skittle manicure of some of the shades and I thought it was so cute. I actually saw this in a Facebook advertisement before I even got these shades, and I was like, oh, that's a cute manicure, I should recreate it. And then I ended up getting the collection, and so I had to recreate it, but it was actually such a pain in the butt because I had to do 3 coats of each one, and that's especially annoying when you're using 5 different colors, so I don't know. So as far as pricing goes, these bottles are 13.5 milliliters each and they retail for $8 USD. So that's why I'm saying I just don't know if it's worth it for the price. If these were $5, I would say 100% worth it, but just because of how much they cost, I feel like, I don't know, a little bit too sheer for me. But I would love to know your opinion. Have you tried this brand before? Is this typical of them to be 3-coaters? Or do you think it's just a fluke with this collection? And would you buy these? I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed my swatch and reviews, please give this one a thumbs up. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. So yeah, that is it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! Okay, fun fact. This is related to this collection, but I got this thing with them and I had no idea what it was, and I thought it was like some kind of remover or something that you like stick on your finger, but apparently this is a tool that you stick your nail polish bottle in and it helps you paint, which I feel like, oh, it makes it really easy to open. I was just gonna say I feel like this is kind of a gimmick, but it does make it easy to open, but I don't know that it's necessary. I certainly didn't use it. Maybe this would make it a little bit more accessible for people who have very shaky hands or have any sort of disability that makes it difficult to grip the nail polish bottle. So yeah, cool little thing there. Not really a fun fact, just more of a, hey, I thought this was something else, but it's not. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later.